Here we are with video 4, trying to knock out the first few sections of chapter 5. Yesterday, or last video anyways, we had a huge diagram that looked a lot like this. And we talked about corresponding angles and alternate interior, alternate exterior, supplementary angles, a lot of those to figure out what angles should be the same and or related to each other. We're going to use those things to fill in all 8 of these angles here. And then you have at your disposal on Classroom, Chapter 5, Lesson 1 reteach sheet. On that sheet, we're going to do the very first problem, or technically it's the first 4 problems, because the sheet asks you for angle 8, 10, 4, and 6. But we're going to go ahead and show you how you can find all 10 of these angles, just because we're that cool. But Ryan and Macy are going to help me a lot with this one. I'm going to kind of be directing from the sidelines, kind of like what we do in class, where I kind of sit off to the side sometimes and have kids do work. So that's what's going to happen today. But we're going to knock out these 2 diagrams. Then we're going to look at chapter, probably the 5-3 stuff real quick. That should be really easy to get done with. And 5-2, I got to decide whether I'm going to put that in the next video or hold off for now, because it's probably the hardest section of chapter 5. But without further ado, my daughter's going to come up here and we're going to talk about this diagram here. So we're given, Macy, that angle 1 is 135 degrees. So tell me how we can figure some of these other ones out using what we knew from yesterday or last video.
Angle 3 would also be 135 degrees because it's a vertical angle of 1. And then angle 5 is also 135 degrees because it's alternate interior to 3.
And what else? It's also something compared to 1 too.
It's congruent. Corresponding.
Corresponding, yes.
And then angle 7 is also 135 degrees because it's vertical to 5, alternate exterior to 1, and corresponding to 3.
Very good.
And then angle 4 is 45 degrees because these added up have to be 180.
Because they're what kind of angles?
Straight angle. Supplementary.
Supplementary angles that add up to that straight angle, and a straight angle is 180 degrees. And now I'll finish this off.
And then angle 2 is also 45. Angle 6 is 45.
Now, why was angle 2 45?
Vertical.
Vertical angle, good. Why is angle 6 45?
Alternate interior.
And or
Corresponding.
to angle 2. Okay, and then there's one last one. Why is that one 45?
It's vertical, alternate exterior, and corresponding.
Good, 3 of them you knocked out. Good. Vertical, alternate exterior, and corresponding angles make that one 45. Fantastic job. Now, if you were to look at number 1 on your reteach worksheet, I'm going to have boy in classroom, Ryan, help us figure out what 1 through 10 is on there, with the exception of 3 that I gave to you as 64, and the worksheet does as well. And number 5, you probably know what it is also, but Ryan will tell you that much.
Okay, so 6 is going to be 64 degrees because it is vertical to angle 3.
Good.
And then angle 2 is going to be 90 degrees because this is a right angle and that's 90 degrees as well.
So 2 is
and they're vertical to
Very good.
each other. And then 1, it'll be, you got to find out what it'll add up to 180 because it's a supplementary, and that'll be 26 degrees.
What angles have to equal 180?
These 3.
Good. 1,
And
2, and
then
3 have to be 180 because they add up
these-
to a straight line.
These 3 do as well, so this will be 26. 2.
Because it's how does it relate to angle 1?
Because, well, first off, it's vertical, and then
Very
these
good.
3 have to be supplementary as well.
Very good.
And then over here, 64 degrees is corresponding to 8. So 3 is corresponding to 8, so this will be 64 degrees as well.
Good.
And then, so this will be, that means this will be 64 degrees because it's vertical to 8. And then to make this supplementary, then it'll be 116 for this one. And then vertical to 7 would be 9, which will be 116. And that's it.
Fantastic job. Thank you, boy and girl, for clearing these up for everybody. So if you pay particular attention to number 1 and actually 1 through 4 on your reteach worksheet from chapter 5, lesson 1, you should hopefully get to a point where you can figure out the angle measures of all sorts of angles, even when you're only given 1 or 2 measures. 5.3 is probably one of the easiest, if not the easiest section of chapter 5, because most of what it talks about are triangles and how to find their angle measures. We should know as 8th graders that all angles, that's the symbol for an angle, measures add up to what, girl?
180 degrees.
Yeah, they add up to 180 degrees, right? Every angle inside of a triangle, if we added them together, should add up to 180 degrees. If I were to just tell you that this angle right here was 60 degrees, and I were to tell you that this angle right here was 50 degrees, and we were asked to find that angle, how would we do that, girl?
You add 50 and 60 and you get 110. And you subtract 110 from 180 and get 70.
Okay, good. So since they have to add up to 180, and we know that we have 110 already, we subtract those, we get 70, and that means this angle here must be 70 degrees. Okay, piece of cake. Let's try one more. If I have a triangle that, say, looks like this,
You didn't say rectangle.
it is a triangle. It has this here and a 30 over here, and we want to know what this is. Well, we first got to use our noggins a little bit and find out what this means. What, boy, does that mean?
That means 90 degrees.
This means 90 degrees here. So technically we'd have 2 measures again. And so how do we figure this out, boy?
Add up 90 and 30, which will be 120, and so 60 degrees will be your last one.
And so remember, if they have to add up to 180, we subtract the 120, and we get 60 degrees for this guy. Okay, and a 30, 60, 90 triangle is actually a very common triangle that you'll see a lot, especially in trigonometry. Those ones in the 45, 90s. So kind of keep that in mind. But when you're finding angle measures inside of a triangle, the main thing you need to think about is the angles all add up to 180 degrees. Okay? Thank you for watching today. I will see you next time.